Shit.
It was a lovely spring on the island of Sodor, or should have been. There was still snow, and it was bitter cold. Although the engines no longer needed snowplows, they still had to be careful about the ice. Of course, the roads had it much worse.
Oh! Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Not as much as my passengers' bums.
Ah well, have an ice day. Oh, botheration! Ha! Talk about pure karma. Gordon was especially trying to be careful. After his mishap with the snowdrift on Christmas Eve, he wasn't about to get into another mess, but his trains were often delayed due to the weather, which he was not pleased about. However, it seemed like his troubles were far from over.
Oh, come on, come on, come on!
But it was no use. The rails were slippery, and Gordon was stuck. He would need a back engine, and Diesel was the only one nearby.
Oh no.
Well, 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 what a shock. Another steam engine stuck on a hill?
You'd get stuck pulling one truck up here. Now shut up and get moving.
Because of this, Gordon was late, and the passengers were grumbling like usual.
Oh right, blame me, because it's entirely my fault there was ice on the rails.
Relax, Gordon. I know it wasn't your fault, and so does the Fat Controller.
Ugh, how could it possibly get worse?
Of course, Gordon wasn't the only one having trouble. As he made his way along the line, he noticed several accidents on the road.
Another one bites the dust, I guess.
Who knows? You might be next. Don't tempt fate.
Pah! All I've had lately are a few minor slips. Nothing to worry about.
Gordon would often wake up very early for his first train. Often he would make a few boasting comments as his fire warmed up, though the other engines would often pay no attention as they were half or fully asleep.
I feel like this is going to be a good day. Even in the winter, I am the pride of the line.
Yeah.
Except for when you get stuck in the snow on Christmas Eve and slip on your own hill. Yes, but I didn't smash into a brake van and fly completely off the rails like you did all those years ago. You know, last time you boasted about my accident, you ended up in a ditch the same day. Don't tempt fate.
That's exactly what I said. Will you shut up? Some of us still require rest. Gordon's run to Vickerstown went smoothly. He arrived at the stations exactly on time. But as he made his journey back, there was trouble. At Tidmouth, Bear was supposed to run through with the freight train. He was almost at the station when there was a loud cough and splutter.
Oh heck, me marcher's spinning out!
And Bear stopped right in the middle of the line. The two other tracks were occupied by Oliver and Duck, who would not be leaving for a while. Everyone went to go see what was wrong with Bear, but completely forgot that Gordon was coming. If Bear was still running, he would have switched onto another line, clearing the line for Gordon to come through. Gordon was getting closer and closer, with no knowledge of the obstruction ahead. The signalman finally realized that, but since all the through lines were blocked, he had no choice but to put up a red signal and switch Gordon into a siding. Unfortunately, the rails were very icy. There was no way Gordon could stop.
Driver, danger signal!
Gordon's driver applied the brakes and managed to slow him down, but not enough. Gordon slid helplessly on the icy rails. Gordon shut his eyes, slid into the siding, crashed through the buffers, and ran straight into the station building. Gordon feebly opened his eyes and was staring, literally, face to face with the station master in what used to be his office. The two stared for quite some time, until the station master finally said, I would have preferred if you had made an appointment. Now's not a very good time for you to, pop in. Gordon was speechless. It's a jolly good thing that I got up, or else I'd be dead.
I guess so.
Fortunately, there were only minor injuries, but the station building suffered heavy damage. Thomas, who had witnessed the accident, cleared away the coaches, and Henry arrived to take the train to finish the journey. Boy, this gives me some not-so-pleasant memories of when I showed up for breakfast in the station master's house. After Henry left with the passengers, Thomas helped to pull Gordon out. The Fat Controller arrived and investigated. He spoke with the crew and the station master. We saw the signal, but we couldn't stop. The rails were too icy.
Of course not. The question is, why were you sent into a siding instead of another through track?
From what I heard, there were 2 engines occupying those lines, so the siding was the only option.
I see. Boy, this is a very difficult scenario.
He then spoke to Gordon, who was still shaken up.
First of all, I must stress that this was in no way your fault. Thank you, sir. And the damage to you looks very minor, which is a miracle. The station, on the other hand, well, let's just say it's going to need quite a bit of money and work. There's going to be quite an investigation into this.
Gordon's repairs were so quick that he arrived back at the sheds the next day. He felt very embarrassed and knew everyone would mock him, but the other engines decided to give Gordon a break. Cheer up, Gordon. You had no control of it. And remember, you're not the only one who popped into a room uninvited. Both me and Duck had that experience.
I guess that's true. But boy, I need to start being more careful about tempting fate in the future. It seems every time I boast, it brings bad luck.
Oh, please. Everyone gets a little too proud of themselves at some point. Your accident was just a coincidence. It's not like you tried to jam a turntable or break a speed record.
Yeah, well, regardless, I think it's pretty obvious that ice always brings bad luck.
The engines could only agree. Fortunately, the weather was only going to get warmer from then on, but the Fat Controller was worried.
Christ, the safety record of this railway is just abysmal. If we continue to have accidents this often, we're going to be in serious trouble.